This vision came to me in the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep just a few nights ago, and I sat up in my bed, and it was as if I was viewing an old-time movie screen, like, back in the drive-in time, and Jesus Christ was sitting beside me, and we were watching it, and the screen opened up, and the movie began, and I was watching the Antichrist and the false prophet, and they were talking to each other without moving their lips. Now, they weren't actually reading each other's mind, they were talking to each other through the chip. And in the beginning, Yesu and I were talking to each other, and as the movie progressed, it got so interesting, I fell completely silent and just watched it. I was in awe. I could see them talking to each other, and they were moving about, and then the movie picked up and moved very quickly. Saw the false prophet. He was moving about a great, huge, vast amount of people, and they spoke all languages. And this person walked up to him, and I could tell that he did not know this person's language by the look on his face, like, what in the world is this person saying? But as soon as they stopped speaking to him, he stood there for a second, like he was waiting for an interpretation or something, but he was by himself. He didn't have an interpreter. And then all of a sudden I noticed that he spoke back to her in whatever language this woman was speaking. He spoke back to her in her language. And I said, Lord, how can this be? I don't understand. And he said, Satan said, I will be like God. And he told me, he said, they both have chips in them. Satan is their master as I am yours. Now, the missionary, I've known of missionaries that go into the field, into a foreign area, and not know their language. The Holy Spirit come upon them, cause them to speak a language that they don't know, but yet they know what they're saying at the same time. And then when they leave, they don't know that language. But what I was understood from talking to Yesu, watching this movie, was that he didn't know what he was saying. He was just speaking what Satan told him in his ear to say, or through the chip. But when you are operating through the Spirit, most of the time you know what you're saying. So it's not the same thing, because he's false, he's fake. So I saw in my spirit this night the false prophet. He was touching people, doing fake miracles and signs and wonders and healings, and he was still walking among them, and he was speaking every language. And all the people were saying, oh, wow, look at this. You could hear them. There was just thousands of people. And they could see him because they all had the chip in them too. And the ones that didn't were pushing and trying to see what was going on, because it was the benefit of the people that were not chipped for what he was doing. And they were saying, I've never seen such wonders like this. He is just like God. And they were like, oh, you could hear the awe and the wonder in the crowd. But it was for the benefit of the ones that were not chipped. And I said, Lord, how is this possible? Jesus, what is it? And he waited a few minutes for me to answer me, to see if I could get the understanding on my own without him answering me. And I said, Oh, my Lord, Satan works just like you through me. But this is demonic. And chills ran down my back. And he said, true, my daughter. Watch more. And I was amazed how he tricked everyone there, for the presence was so evil, and yet they fell for everything he did. I tell you, it was sick. And then I saw him lay hands on someone that was young. I couldn't really tell if it was a young boy or a young girl, but they stood there calm until they fell on the ground, wailing about, yelling, thrashing about on the ground, and the crowd yelled, he cast out a demon, he cast out a demon. But my friends, he did not. He put a demon in that child. It was probably about a 13 or 14-year-old. Chills ran all over me, and I cried because the world bought it. It was fake. Because how can Beelzebub cast out Beelzebub? It's not possible. He can only remove a demon and put another one in worse than the one he took out. And then I viewed the Antichrist. He was in his personal quarters, And he was talking to animals. Now, he wasn't talking again with his lips. He was talking through the chip in his mind. And the animals were talking to him, and they were obeying him. They were doing tricks. But I could hear what he was saying. I don't know how to explain that. And the Lord said, it's like Dr. Doolittle in the movies. They are mocking Adam. Now, I've told you this before. This Lord had told me this. And they were obeying him. And again, he never opened his mouth. So, it was kind of like, I don't know how to explain that. And then I could see in his eyes were like watching a movie in his on a TV screen. They were tuned into a show, but then when I got a closer view, because I could hear like some kind of movie going on, you could actually hear it, and you could see this flashes of everything going on in his eyes. It wasn't like the reflection in his iris or anything. And I heard him say with his mouth, "Where is Sarome?" And when he said that, the channel changed in his eyes, both eyes, and you could see this person, Jerome. You could see his place, where he was, what he was doing, and it followed him around wherever he went. He went outside, he went in and out of where he lived, and he began to talk to him with his mouth. When Tyrone talked, you could see him in his eyes. So it switched back and forth in his eyes as he talked to Tyrone. And he told him what he wanted him to do. Now, you are your own Wi-Fi with the chip. I told you in the last video before this one, there will be no more TV, probably no more radio, no more computers. There will be no need for them, because you are all of these when you have a chip. And the rest of us will just be left out. You are tracked. Your every move, your every thought, your heartbeat, your heart rate, your everything about you will be tracked through that chip. I saw this how it worked. And they knew everything about you at all times. Everybody. I saw how it was the heartbeat of the world, because that makes them like God. That's the purpose of the chip. And once you took the chip, you lose your personality and your identity. It changes your attitude, your mood, and you no longer are kind. You're very rude. You're not caring. You're not gentle. You could no longer think of Yahweh or reach out to Yesu. In fact, you never thought of them. You were cut off from God, and the movie ended. Now, I want to put some clips up here. I don't know how long this video is going to be. I'm going to put some clips here that gives you some more information about the chip, and I'm begging you not to take the chip, because it's eternal doom. You will lose your soul. The very instant you take it, you will lose your soul, and the Bible tells you that you will get sores on your body, or some soles. It cannot be healed, but the main thing is that you will lose your soul, and it cannot be removed. You've sold your soul to Satan when you take that chip. Now, I was getting ready for bed the other night, and I was giving more on this subject. This was not a vision, and it was not a dream. It was just a knowing by the Holy Spirit. He dropped it into my spirit. Now, books are being all put online, and I was discussed this with you before. I think it was a year ago. For one main reason, they're being put online, because they're going to be burning our Bibles first and removing them from our homes. All forms of the Word of the one true God from the face of the earth. And then they will burn the libraries and all the books, period. Why? Because he, the Antichrist, will only allow books to the general public used to fit his agenda. And this will only be accessible by your chip. Your chip will be used for everything. And this is what my understanding as I was watching the movie. And the books will be just a download into your brain. You won't be reading them. They will be in a matter of a second downloaded as knowledge. You'll be selecting them like you do now when you select something to be downloaded into your computer, but they'll be downloaded into your chip, and they'll be instant knowledge directly into your brain. Now, I'm saying we, the ones that have the chip, will be downloaded the information into a main station where all the chips in the world will go, and the Antichrist and the false prophet can access these files at any time into their own chip on command with their minds or by saying it. And you will receive the downloads often of all types of information. And they will be like obey, they love you. There will be all kinds of commands that you will get hourly that you can see in your eyes, and you will receive alerts against outsiders that do not have chips. They will be giving you things to do every day, where to go as you live, like in your area or on your block. And they will control your body at all times and play with you just because they can. I saw them tormenting people. And you will be like their toy. And people, what I want to tell you is that they're already doing this with us around the world. If you could just see this in the spirit, because they're doing it through the scalar weapons. There will be propaganda downloaded into us, like they play around the clock in North Korea, telling you how wonderful the Antichrist and the false prophet are. And if you will remember, I have been shown that North Korea is the model country for the world. Actually, that's what I was watching in some aspect in this movie. And now I'm beginning to understand what the Lord was telling me about North Korea more and more. Because you will work 16-hour shifts, and you will be more of a puppet than a human or a slave to the beast. You will no longer have playtime like now as a common person. Most children will work or be in military school for the mindset, not for schooling, for teaching. There will be no need for it any longer.
Your biological makeup is the key to your individual identity, and soon it will become the key to safeguarding it. Biometric data such as retinal scans and voice files will be composited through software to build your DNA unique online password. Look at all our wasted brain power and wasted time trying to remember multiple passwords for various logins. Instead, you'll be able to walk up to an ATM machine to withdraw money by speaking your name or looking into the camera.
Mind reading is no longer science fiction. Mind reading has merely been wishful thinking for science fiction fans for decades, but their wish may soon come true.
Within 5 years, we'll begin to see early applications of this technology. Beyond PC games, doctors could use the technology to test brain patterns, possibly even assist in rehabilitation and to help in understanding brain disorders, such as autism. IBM scientists are researching how to link your brain to your devices, such as a computer or a smartphone, so you just need to think about calling someone, and it happens. You don't need to say a word or hit a single key, echoing the famous IBM motto. In 5 years, the gap between information haves and have-nots will cease to exist due to the advent of mobile technology. There are 7 billion people inhabiting the world today, and in 5 years, 80% of the current global population would each have a mobile device. And because of this, communities are able to achieve much more than they had before. Filter and find only the data that's important and relevant to you, and bringing you the information without you having to ask for it.
Exponential revolution. Every 18 months, a PC of $1,000 double capacity or double power. In 45 years from now, a $1,000 PC will be 1 billion times faster, more performant. We're talking about cloud computing. A laptop will be obsolete by 2020. It will be replaced by a communication access device and a cloud computing. All your applications, software, and content will be in the cloud, and you'll be able to access it through an access device. Let's look at the entertainment. 3D television, 3D entertainment will go to holographic. You'll be the controller. You no longer need things in your hands to control the games. And we're talking about interactive mind gear, controlling games with your mind in the future. Let's look at GPS. GPS will be integrated in every single thing. Cars in London by 2020 will all equipped with GPS. The car will talk to each other if there's an accident, for example. GPS in shoes already, we see it for Alzheimer patient. You'll have GPS embedded inside of your body, I mean. Bionic, for example. You'll see Bionic game by 2030, 2040 replacing Paralympic games. You will see an LCD screen or contact lenses. Think about the impact with augmented reality if you have an LCD screen in your eyes.